watching YouTube right now and I came across a review of a palette that I wanted desperately. I like the color story of this palette. It's this one, you find it swatched here, and I'm watching the review of Anne Beauty 101. Here's the Miss Dior palette, specifically the black one, 931 bold black. This is the editing me to update. First, I asked Hannah the permission to publish her swatches in this video. She gave me her permission, so thank you so much, Hannah. So I will put her swatches as a reference, the link to her channel in the description box in this video, and I will also add the link to her video about this Miss Dior collection. The second thing I would like to add is that I checked these palettes on the Dior website, and here in Europe, gosh, they cost a lot, 83 euros. So it's the same case as last year Plein de Paris collection. And yeah, we also get the nice sleeve. So customized sleeve made of fabric instead of a usual velvety pouch. But I prefer to pay less and just get a eyeshadow and not to pay more for just a sleeve. It's the same case as last year Plein de Paris collection, but the Plein de Paris collection last year, at least it was in the hard gelée formula, and for me, it is a better value for the money. I bought a few palettes despite the higher price last year for the Plein de Paris collection, but I'm not gonna do it this year because the formula is not hard gelée. This year, they charge more for the sleeve possibly, but they do not give us the special hard gelée formula. The Miss Dior collection is in the standard talc-free formula by Dior. Why I wanted it? Because it has that green. That is the enabler there. But the purpose of the BoB mindset is to buy only the best. And given my extensive collection, I should be able to do that palette. It's not a process of restricting myself, trying not to buy that palette. No, it's something more. It's saying that I have something better already in my collection, and I don't need to fall in the trap of giving Dior my money. As you may know, I have this motto, no baked gelée, no money. In my case, the formula is a major discriminant on my decision whether to buy or not to buy a palette. And I'm not gonna buy a palette by Dior that has the standard talc-free formula. I don't like that formula personally. It's a personal preference. I have the best already. I dedicated so much time over the years to collect the very best on the market. And the purpose of this is also in situations like these where I truly love a color story, but I don't like the formula, I can get the same looks in the upgraded version that I like much more. So I have the swatches over there. By looking at the swatches, I immediately thought about this amazing palette by Tom Ford that is the Soleil Lune. Well, I was considering decluttering this palette in the past, but it's so unique. This collection was very unique. It didn't happen that Tom Ford or any other brand has released these type of colors in this hard gelée formula again, so this was a must buy at the time, and I'm so glad I managed to get my hands on this palette. And I can definitely tell that there are three colors here, 1, 2, 3, that are, if not exactly the same, very similar to the colors from that Miss Dior palette. So let's proceed with the swatches. I have this one that is a nice peachy shade. To be honest, I'm not satisfied. I'm not satisfied enough because I wanted this color to be more like it was in the pan, so darker. But as swatched, it doesn't look as intense as in the pan. So I have to think about something that is peachier. And I have to think more carefully because whenever I get these type of colors, I tend to declutter them from my collection if they are very warm. I didn't prepare these swatches. Usually I get the color right away, but when there's a less relation between the swatches and the pan, that I need to think more carefully. So I will think about an alternative and share it with you. But right now, let's keep this one. I will improve my dupes later on in the video. So the next shade is the white. It's a glittery white in that talc-free formula by Dior, but I have the best version, that is this one, by Wycon and is the #1 visionary eyeshadow. That is Hard Gelée. And this is a glittery white, as simple as that, but it is fantastic. I would call it a wedding shade. It is fantastic. And this would be it. Oh gosh, it is so sparkling and beautiful. This is natural lighting, no filtering and no special effects here, but you see how impactful it is already. But in artificial lighting, it will be a glorious festival of sparkles. And then the green. I wanted to buy that palette because of the green. I'm such a sucker of sage greens. I'm not sure if they are really flattering on my eyes, but I like sage green. I think it's such a trendy color. I'm seeing everywhere, also in the interior design field. Yeah, that's something that I follow as well. I like whatever is design related. So I would like to have the perfect sage green, and that one by Dior, I like it because it has a level, again, of desaturation. That is the essence, actually, of a sage green color. And that was the enabler why that palette by Dior grabbed my attention. So I have this one, and I think it would be a great alternative. So there's one problem with this color. It's too metallic, so sometimes it's too shimmery, but it's the case also for the original Dior one. Maybe I think this is more minty, cooler compared to that Dior one. But once on the eyes, I think that it would be quite similar. Is it enough to satisfy my desire for sage green? I don't know. When it comes to these colors, sometimes they are too light and on the eyes, they look like silver. My main worry, if I spend that amount of money on the entire Dior palette just for one color, that is that sage green, then I'm afraid that I would be underwhelmed by the final effect on my eyes, because it can be too light. It doesn't translate as green as I wanted. And that is the risk with such light greens. Not to look the color, but to look just a shimmery white or silver. I will watch again that swatch video, and I think I have to do a tweak, because again, I'm not 100% satisfied of this dupe. You know how picky I am with colors, undertones, and formula. Let me do a tweak, maybe offline, and then I will show you the exact dupes and how I reached them. Then we have a black. My favorite black of all time is this one, that is the Pat McGrath Dark Matter one. I've talked extensively about this eyeshadow, so I'm not gonna to repeat myself here. This is a fantastic black, the best black on the market. And in my best version of the squint, I couldn't avoid using my best black. And finally, there's the shade that I can't care less, and is a metallic gold. And I struggled a bit because this is another color that I can't find easily in my collection, because I tend to declutter the golds, especially when they are a little bit warm like this one. This gold by BoB Brown in an old palette, you see, is the shiny metallic and smooth gold that I was looking for. So this is my dupe straight away, thinking about the Tom Ford palette, adding a sparkling white, the best black in my collection, and the best standard powder formula. Let me mention this. I think that the name is a bit deceiving, because sometimes BoB Brown calls Luxe formula this formula that is not Hard Gelée. This is the standard formula in the pan. This is the best powder formula. I think there's still a little bit of gel in it, but it's not hard. It's definitely special, not Hard Gelée. And I think this is the best Western formula out there. In my opinion, there's a similarity of this formula to the new Pat McGrath special shades, especially when they have less content of glitter, because this is not glittery. So it should be close to that new Pat McGrath formula, but this is more smooth metallic. And I love this formula. I do not buy everything in this formula, but yeah, I admit that in this case, the reason was one shade, that is the brown, and the packaging. And it's a purchase that I did last year, but I like this formula on the eyes, how it looks on the eyes, although it's not hard gelée. Okay, so this is my first attempt, but since the start of the show here is this green, and I'm not satisfied by this, I would like to tweak a bit these two colors and show you my final version of it. For the peach, I wanted something darker, and for sure, this one by Chantecaille is, in my opinion, the best version, because yeah, it looks like a brown, but it's a warm brown. It has some peach in it and is much darker. So this would be a better candidate as a dupe for this more peachy color. I will remove then this and replace it with this one. For the green, I realized that I wanted something more desaturated and darker. And Kiko saved me, because there's this holiday release by Kiko from last holidays, so holidays 2024, and it was number 04, Holiday Wonderlights, that has that desaturation that I wanted, is this color. But let me swatch it. I will squeeze the swatch here, so you will see the comparison. You will see how much more desaturated is this color. So this looks warmer, so it has more yellow in it compared to this minty green by Tom Ford, and is desaturated, so it has a tad of gray. You see, it's darker and still is in the art gelée formula. So here you can see how much darker and with more yellow, warmer is compared to Tom Ford. So yeah, actually this palette by Tom Ford inspired me in terms of color story, but a better implementation are this darker color by Kiko and this darker color by Chantecaille that is less metallic compared to Tom Ford. So these are closer to the original compared to this Tom Ford. And yeah, still we have this Tom Ford disadvantage, that for me is a disadvantage, of their colors to be quite metallic and shiny. And sometimes I don't want that, but it's nice to have this in this beautiful formula. I will replace these swatches and show you the final result. Yeah, here we are. I cleaned up my arm and we will do the swatches. So the green first. This green eyeshadow by Kiko practically saved me. Without it, I think I would like to buy the original Dior palette, and I would have spent 70 euros instead of 15, and I wouldn't be so satisfied because that formula is not my favorite. This one, so is the green one, and then we have the white, that is still this one. This is the best glittery white in the market. Wow, it's fantastic. And finally, the peachy shade that has been selected to be this one by Chantecaille. And here we have it. I think I got closer from the looks that she demoed in this video. I've seen a lot of sparkles from the peachy shade and the white shade. So the white shade is very sparkling, but my peachy shade, that is the Chantecaille dupe, is quite smooth. So if I want to give texture to this peach here, I can add another Wycon, and for example this one, the number 5 of the Visionary eyeshadow line. And this one is again fantastic, very glittery like the white one, and I can layer it to have more sparkling effect. And now I think we are definitely surpassing the original Dior palette. Again, this one, that is the smooth gold, comes from this palette by Bobbi Brown, Rosenthal collection, Moonstruck Luxe eyeshadow quad, and is this one, Skyline Shimmer. Then we have the black, that is by Pat McGrath, is Pat McGrath Dark Matter. And then we have the green, that is this Kiko, here 04 Holiday Wonderlights. The white, that here's the Wycon number 1, Visionary eyeshadow number 1, and then we have the peach that is layering of this brown eyeshadow, peachy brown eyeshadow from the Chantecaille Nymph Eye Trio and the Wycon 05. These ones until this is art gelée, more the jelly type formula. This is difficult to classify. I would say it's more baked than baked gelée, but it's very close in texture to the Guerlain original in the matte finish. I would say it's baked, but it's also very dense. And this one is the only one that is in regular formula, powder formula, but still is special. It has some gel in it as well, but it's not art gelée. So these are my best of the best version. I'm safe, guys. What do you think? Are you going to do the same? Let me know. Whenever I have time, I can do some calculations. I will make a video what I've saved this year based on this BoB dupe method. See you in my next video. Bye.